Welcome to the show today. We are joined by a guest who is an avid writer and has published books. She'll be telling us all about it today. Welcome to the SYLBOURNE Show. Joining us today we have Amanda Nicole Brown, an avid writer and published author who will be sharing with us about her previous novels and her most recent publication, Of All the Fathers. Welcome to the show, Amanda.
Thank you.
Fantastic, good. Normally I dress differently, but I like the blue with my backdrop there, which actually flows.
It works.
I mean, the one which is right behind you. My eyes are behind you, watching you, actually.
Lovely.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is interesting having Amanda on the show because I met her a couple of times and I said to her, there's a powerful story there, separate and apart from the book. And of course, if I'm not inspired, there's no way you can be inspired. Exactly. So, Amanda, tell us, the author of 3 books, which is Elevating Success, the first 5 years.
Yes.
Time to Break Through.
Yes.
And your most recent publication of All the Fathers.
That's right.
How did you get into writing? And tell us about your first 2 books.
Okay. So I got into writing, I would say, through my mum, who definitely instilled a respect and a love for books. I think I started reading the Ladybird books from the age of about 3, 4. And it just progressed from there. I then went on to college, studied at A-level, and it was one of my English teachers there who has now sadly passed away, John Tulin, who inspired us to write poetry, just write. Doesn't matter if it looks good, sounds good, just tell your story, express yourself, and it came from there. And I started keeping a diary, as young girls do. 93. Went to Wales and found a really pretty book, and I thought this will be my first diary, and I've been keeping a diary ever since. So I just write every day, naturally, just flowing.
And you said you started to read from age of 3, 4?
Yeah.
Where were you brought up?
I was brought up in East London, East Ham.
Okay.
At the age of 6, we moved to Trinidad, and there were loads of books in Trinidad, and there were probably books there that I shouldn't have been reading, but I was reading them. Roots being one of them. Okay. Yes.
Which you should be reading.
Which I should, but I don't know, I was like 7 or 8, and there, from what I can remember, some intense moments in that book that I don't know if I was emotionally ready to read.
It's good you mentioned roots, and in my second half we were tapping into some issues regarding Black Lives Matter because the whole importance of understanding one roots is crucial.
Very.
Fantastic. So tell us now about the new book now, which is Of All the Fathers. The first 2 books are very motivational, inspirational, with Of All the Fathers being an intriguing and what seems a personal story, with the main protagonist sharing your name, is a very rare authors to take a turn of change in their genre and style of writing. Tell us a little bit about Of All the Fathers and why it is important for you to tell this story now.
Okay. Very simply, each one of us has a father, and our fathers are that first male figure that we experience. They have such a powerful role in our lives, and I don't know if many fathers are aware of this when they first become a father, but you have this child who, you know, depending on what you say, what you do, how you treat the mother, how you interact with this child, have the power to direct the life of that child. And my dad and I had a very tense relationship. Again, I think because I was intuitive, clued up, observant, I picked up on things that were going on in the house that I began to realize weren't right. And not being quiet, I challenged him, and I shouldn't have, because I was a child. And what then began to develop was this tense relationship where do as you're told, behave yourself, you're a child, etc. And I was rebelling against that. He eventually left, and years later I got this phone call, Amanda, your dad's really sick. You need to help. And I was throwing a garden party. It was being held.
That was here in the UK.
This was here in the UK a few years ago. It was summer, was raining, so the garden party was in the kitchen, and my daughter went, answered the phone, came back, Mum, it's so-and-so on the phone. I haven't spoken to this person in like 18 years. it's one of two things. It's either he's dead, it's my dad, or he's very sick. Went to the phone, he's very sick, you need to help. I'm like, but I haven't seen my dad in like 5 years. What am I supposed to do? Conundrum. The whole family now is like, well, what do we do? Bearing in mind, we've had this relationship where we've fallen out, made up, fallen out, then lost touch. Now I'm being asked to open my heart, open my home, and give to this person who, in his role as my father, didn't really give very much. I was being asked to put all of that behind you, Amanda, and do the godly thing. Look, honour your parent, honour your father. It was a struggle.
It's interesting what you said there, because upon reading excerpts of your book, whereby you challenged them at certain time, in your very youthful age, but you had a very spirit of saying, when you heard the other lady's voice, you said, that's not my mommy, that's not my mommy. And of course, that somehow had an effect on him, whereby things stopped there and the person went away. But I'll go back to honor your father and your mother now. How do you balance that now, whereby that's of evil or that's not good, but yet you have to honor and father?
This is, I think, where now my relationship with the Almighty Father has come into play, because my relationship with God has shown me what it means to receive a father's love on that intimate level, on that spiritual level, emotional. So now I am stronger in myself. I can now give what I couldn't have given. Had I not become a Christian, had I not received that love from God, there is no way, SYLBOURNE, I would have been able to open up myself to this man who had dishonored us, our little family unit. You know, I believe his role was to protect, to serve, to honor, all these things, direct, lead, build up. You know, there were parts where he simply failed. But I had to put all of that behind me and say, what has God done for you? Because surely there were times when God should have said, you know what, you don't deserve it. And I had to remember, I was forgiven, therefore I have to forgive.
And I notice you keep saying, this person. Do you say your father? Do you use that term?
Yes, it was difficult. When he first came into the house, because I used to call him by his first name. And of course that, you know, West Indian upbringing, that's just not done. But he didn't seem to mind. And I could not bring myself to call him dad, daddy, pops, nothing of, you know, no word that established that connection of relationship between us. It was always just his first name. But he came into our house and I was able to say, Dad, and I didn't feel funny or jittery. It felt natural, it felt real. What I did struggle to say was, I love you. That I found difficult.
Now, what is the message then that you want our viewers or readers to capture from your book? What is the message, the deep message that you're trying to convey?
Well, it's the question that I asked myself, you know, after he'd come into the home, we'd nursed him back to good health, done all these things for him, then got him safely back to his home, and observed the way that things kind of went back to square one, went back to 30 years ago, still exhibiting the same behavior he was doing in his early, I don't know, 20s, 30s, what have you. Getting back home after that experience and thinking, out of all the fathers I could have had, God, why did you give me him? You know, I could have had this one, I could have had that one. You know, I look at my husband and how he interacts with our children. You know, why can't I have had somebody like that? But instead I've got this one who is, you know, is a stress, I've got nothing from him. And then I had to stop and think, God didn't make a mistake. You got the right dad. You know, he made some mistakes, you made some mistakes, but you've come through it. He's come through it. You got the right dad, because had you got anybody else, you wouldn't be yourself. So, you know, my message is to people, you know, if you're struggling with, you could be a dad, it could be your mum, love them, honor them, respect them in the way that you can, even if they're not here on earth anymore. You know, in your mind, in your heart, do that, because it releases you. And it then enables you to now walk your path free. You know, so if anything, God forbid, should happen to my father, I know I've made my peace with him. And it's a wonderful position to be in. It's freedom.
Fantastic. Okay, now we've got a sort of flavor of the book. Now tell us about Amanda now, and what do you do, Amanda?
So what do I do?
Or where do you take, what do you do to where you do what you do now?
Okay. So I would first of all start off by saying I'm a child of God. I think you might have picked up on that a little bit. I'm a worshipper. I love to worship. I love nature. I love the sea. I love being with my family. I'm a very private person as well. I don't like big crowds so much, and I love one-to-one. So like what we're doing now, I come alive in that type of situation, or small groups. I love giving to people in terms of, you know, they've got a problem, Amanda, can you pray with me? Or Amanda, can you come and go with me? That's me, I'm there, I've got your back. I want to help, I want to see you rise to the next level. I want to motivate you, almost to the point where the person looks at me and is like, you seem to be more interested in my life than I am in my own life. And I'm like, yes, because I think you can do it. So that's me in a nutshell.
We had a discussion once, and we spoke about being in the right place. I'm talking about the right job.
Sure.
There's a moment we spoke about that. Now, it was like circumstances led you to a point whereby you're in a position and things fell apart.
That's right.
And it's like you're looking for this dream job. And I said to you, maybe your dream job is leading you, maybe you're actually stepping into it.
Yes. Yeah. Can I tell you a bit about that journey? So back in, please let me get the dates right, 2007.
Yes.
My husband and I, plus a small team of us, were working for a company, and they called us into a room one day and said, the company's shutting down, business is over, we're making you redundant. That same evening, that small team, my husband and I, the small team, came together, and Andrew said, guys, you know, we've got everything in place here, we can run with this. We had just moved into a house, so there's the mortgage to pay, and, you know, just life, bills in general. Now we've got no money, he's got no money coming in, I've got no money coming in. It was a stressful time, but we said, you know what, we can do this. This is something that we have to go for, it's an opportunity. We went for it.
I'm excited to hear more.
It's good. Can I say the name of the company?
Yes, please.
So the company is called Elevating Success. It was born out of pain, tears, what's going to happen to this, what's going to happen to that. But the people that were working with us were like, you know what, we trust you, and you've got a vision, Andrew, go with it, we're behind you. As his wife, working with him, I was like, you know what, we can do this, I can see it, let's go for it. And this was all about training and personal development. How do we get a young, unemployed 16-year-old into work who all they've been used to doing is just sleeping the day away. Mum or dad's fed up with them, they're not bringing any money in, they can't see where life's taking them. How do we get that person from that mindset into working, energized, elevated,
stepping out of the comfort zone?
Yes, how do you do that? And we were doing it. So we said, we've started, we've got to keep going. Then time went by, business is running perfectly. We're getting, work through Lewisham Council, different housing associations. It's going beautifully. Then I began to feel this tug in my spirit. It's time for me now to branch out into new areas. And I was excited, I've got a degree in business administration. And I was like, I can do that. I can maybe marry that up with some travel, but I want to help people as well. I'm going to set off a bit like, is it Dick Whittington? I'm going to set off into the city, into the wide world and make my name. Well, SYLBOURNE, it went disastrously wrong. But before it went wrong, I got a place in King's College, London, top college in university for nursing, because nursing seemed to be reaching out to me. I was like, right, I'm going for that. Got the place, 3 weeks of theory, loved it. Got onto the wards, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and almost died. And I was like, maybe this isn't the dream job. Walked away from it after UCAS applications, you name it. I'd left the job, so we had no money coming in, depending on a grant.
So the government also spent for you to train?
Yes, so they did.
Mess up the taxpayers' money.
I'm so sorry. I love how you segued into that, So I had to walk away for my sanity, because I realised it wasn't me. Okay, now what? So now I'm at home, I'm not working. The dream that I thought was about to come to pass is in tatters, and I was messed up.
So that was looking for a dream job.
I was looking for the dream job. I thought I'd found it.
And that was a dream job.
Yes.
Right.
Because to me, it married up three things. I could use my brain. You know, nursing is now very much, I won't say intellectual, but you've got to use your brain. Yes. Looking after people. And later on, I was going to use it to travel. Yes. I thought, this is it. Father, thank you. I remember lying in bed thinking, this is amazing. I've done it. Yes. All I've got to do now is pass. Until, as I said, I got onto the ward and saw suffering, saw pain, saw the long hours. And I'm a person, I like to be out, free, enjoying life. To be in a ward for 12 hours takes a certain tenacity that I just didn't possess. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a quick break right there. And of course, we're going to find out what is that dream job, or the dream job that Amanda is getting into, and talk a bit more about her views on Brexit and also what happened in America recently with the Black Lives Matter issues, and also how to get hold of her book and why she actually going down this path as a writer. Thank you. That's one. Listen. When the music fades and all is stripped away. All that I was writing, I thought, I'm creating something here. Someone somewhere is going to benefit from this. And like we had that conversation, I was looking outside on Guardian.com, on, read.co.uk, looking for the dream job, when all along the dream job was here in my hands, here in my spirit. And all it took was that difficult situation to pull it out of me. Hi, thanks for watching our video. If you like what you see, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and share and like, and don't forget to comment, but first subscribe. Hello, my name's Amanda. Guess what? I've just been on the SYLBOURNE show and it's amazing. I encourage you to like, subscribe, do everything that you can to big up this show. It's wonderful. Thank you. I want to clap more.